What up? This is your boy, Doughboy.
CT is dope.
And this is another installment of the Just Us League podcast. What are we on? Episode?
Just Us. 41.
41.
Yeah, man. One more and we'll be Doughboy.
I was about to say, it was just a year ago. I was 41. It's wild,
year
man.
ago?
Just a year ago. That's wild, man. For years, I never said my age on public platforms, and now I just won't stop saying it.
You won't stop.
It's like, shut up about your age. No, I won't. You.
Scat you.
Scat you.
What was that there?
That's a broom, like to a cat.
That's funny.
Scat you.
Like it's almost, anyway. I took it too far. Yeah, so what's going on?
Oh, man. Nothing, man. Life is good. How was your weekend, man? I seen you on the Instagram. Like, that's the thing, man. I can't even, first of all, never seen you wear a necklace ever in my life, for real. Not like a chain.
Yeah.
And now that you're out here, you just with the slight flex, man. I like it.
It's not a flex at all. This is the term where happy wife, happy life. Tangerine was like, put your chain on. I'm like, I'm at home. I just want to, there's no reason for me to have a chain on. And she's like, just put the chain. I want to see it. And I'm like, and if you wear the chain, you got to have a solid color shirt. I'm like, all right.
Then it becomes a whole photo shoot.
A whole thing.
Let me just put a little foundation on your face. Man, move.
Yeah, it's just, so it's definitely not a flex. I'm just listening to her. I just got back today. So, yeah, the weekend.
Okay, so talk to me about it. So let me tell you what I'll be seeing from Instagram.
What you see? Because you still ain't comment.
It's cool, I know, but I'll be watching all of them. It's like, CT has this thing, and I don't know, it's like he has the humblest face. He was like, hey, man, I'm out in Dallas. And then he turns his back, and it's like 30,000 people. They're like, ah! And this arrogant nigga bites his lip like, you see it. I'm like, ah! I hate the nigga and love him at the same time. No, but it's cool, though, because I wouldn't be able to do that. I'd be like, you know what it is. But just like the humble, you see it. It's tight, man. I'm happy for you.
There was no arrogance at all. It's actually the opposite. It's a blessing because it's like there are very few people who do what we do in comedy that will ever get an opportunity to perform in front of that kind of audience, right? And knowing that, being blessed to be one of the few, I sit in it and I'm thankful. And a lot of the tour, because we've been on tour since 2018, and a lot of the tour I had been doing those videos, but I had added to my story. You know what I mean? I'm like, it's just in a story, let's move on, because I didn't want a lot of attention. And then something this weekend, because these were the last few dates, I was like, you know what, let me show the people what I'm feeling. How
do you get 25,000 people to all be that quiet and then get that loud?
You gotta be funny.
Hey, man, everybody be quiet. Man, get off the stage.
You gotta be funny.
Because you could not tell from the first part what was about to happen the second part. It's totally cool. And I'm totally joking on the arrogant thing, but just the humble, just like...
I love the lip bite impression. It's
Go
like
ahead,
this, bro. So, okay. Let me tell you, though, boy. Myself, Martin Lawrence, Chico Bean, Ricky Smiley, Donnell Rawlins, B. Simone, D. Ray Davis, honorable mention to Jasmine W. This was a stacked lineup, and we did Dallas Friday and Houston on Saturday, right? So Friday is when I was like, yo, I went out there and I did some work.
Okay, so walk me through it. So like, are you first, second? Like, what is your?
It's someone before me.
Okay,
I go up.
Okay,
brother. Let me tell you something. So when you're in front of this audience, you can't, like, when you go to a comedy club, this is the difference. When people go to comedy clubs and they see comedians that come up and they be doing all of this stuff, they be like, oh, this is my grandma's song right here.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You can't do that in this arena because these people are like.
And do you have an earpiece at all?
No.
So you have to just hear yourself.
Yeah.
Is there like is it like a delay of like your voice or anything?
That's the thing. So I remember previous episodes, those of you guys who watched, when you do an arena or a theater of any size, when you tell a joke and you hit that punchline, that punchline goes to the back, then the front, then the back again.
So you have to wait.
You have to wait, but you can't. It's not like this. You can't be like 1, 2, buckle my shoe.
Shugga dugga quack quack.
Yeah, it's like you got to be like 1, 2, buckle my shoe. Because I'm telling you, man, like it's a pacing that you learn that you can only learn while you're in it, right? Even explaining it, I feel like I'm talking a foreign language. But so we rock out, right? My cousin is there, my cousin Dave, who's a pastor. You might not know.
Oh, wow.
Fit pastor. He's a bodybuilder. Incredible guy.
Bodybuilder and strong in spirit.
And strong as I heard his spirit got abs. That's what I heard. Bro, so he and his wife drove 4.5 hours to come to the show in Dallas, right? Which was, I'm so humble, but to this day. Then my friends from high school came because they're in Dallas. My boy Jay Gullett, man, and Shantae. So Shantae, I've known, you know King Kedar.
Yeah. Shout out to King Kedar.
Shout out to King
the
Kedar.
homie.
So Shantae I've known since I was 11 years old. Like we went to the same junior high school, reconnected high school, and just been friends ever since. So Shantae's there. She has this thriving cake business. She's okay. You know how they did Jordan cakes? Like they'll make like a Jordan shoe.
Yeah. And they'll make.
She was the first one to do this.
Oh, so she was like the trendsetter of that.
Yes, and now she's moved on to doing. Like she showed me a picture. She did a pot of gumbo, and I'm like, oh, okay, you made gumbo. She's like, that's a cake. I say, what? Like, it's crazy.
Wow.
I
got to get a doughboy cake for my birthday.
It's going to be
for my 43rd. You know I got to pull out all the stops for my 43rd.
You just turned 42. So, who's planning?
I'm pulling out the stops for the 43rd. It's just a random age. That was the regal point to hit.
For 43.
43, the big 43.
What did you do for 42?
Ain't nothing.
So, you going to change that for 42.
We're going to switch that. So, back to your story.
So they're there, and everybody's like, "Man, this is crazy." But Shantae, I remember the reason I brought up King Kedar in high school. I was like, "Yo, I'm going to do comedy. I want to do Comic View. I want to do Def Jam. I want to do everything that Martin and Jamie did, right?
All the things.
All the things." And she would listen to me, man, and she'd be like, yo, you could do it, right? And she was like, my uncle's a comedian. Maybe I could connect y'all to each other. I was like, okay. She was like, I have a tape of his from Comic View. I'll let you see it. Brought the tape to school the next day. I watched the tape, and I was like, yo, this is dope. And she's like, yeah. So, if you ever in L.A., like, he's there. I moved to L.A.
Such a humble thing to say. He's out there. He'll take care of you.
I moved to L.A. He's one of the first people I meet out here. And our relationship, just like you.
And he's a real dude.
Real dude.
So what's no Hollywood stuff?
No Hollywood.
Sweet. I thought you were about to hit me with the okie doke. Like, he was never a guy out here. And so you met this guy out here.
King Kedar, yeah.
It was Kedar. Okay.
Yes, that's our uncle.
Okay, now I put two and two together.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was somebody. Okay, gotcha.
So that happens. We kick it. And then Saturday comes, right? Saturday, I'm still riding off the high from Dallas. Shout out to Team CT Dallas. I go to Houston. I'm like, all right, man, this is my last show of the tour.
Okay.
I'm about to go ham. Not only did I do completely different jokes from the night before, I turned the energy up a notch. So anybody who was at the Dallas show, you already know it was very good. But Houston, right? So go up there, incredible. Let me say something about every performer. They were incredible. But Chico Bean.
Chico's different.
Chico Bean is a murderer when it comes to these jokes.
Wow.
And I say that Chico's a friend.
Right.
I was such a fan. I was fanning out Friday and Saturday because this set from beginning to end was so polished. It was like, I saw like, yo, the special has to come because what he's talking about is major. So that show happens. I thank Martin for the opportunity. I'm like, thank you, man. I thank Rob because Rob made everything happen for me. And Martin was like, hey, man, don't let nobody change you. He's like, keep doing everything that you're doing. Then he hit me with this. He was like, man, if we all had your confidence. I was like, because everybody will say that, like when I go on stage, the confidence, because my thing is, I'm not a household name. Like a lot of people know who I am, but I'm not, you walk into a Denny's and the Denny's shut down. You know?
No more lumberjack slams at CT. Look, let me tell you how lit you guys' show is. And I was just waiting for you because I wanted you to get your enthusiasm out. I got a text. Now, mind you, this is how random this was and how ridiculous I am. Because I know two Brandies, but I don't know which one this was. Okay. But they text me, and I want you to hear this. I don't want you to think I fudged this or anything. This is what happened. This was a texting conversation. I came out to see Martin Lawrence, and your sis B. Simone is here. I'm like, oh, okay. She's like, she is doing so good. Sends me a video. I'm like, hey, she's dope. My bro CT, who I do my podcast with, is on that show as well, I believe. Clayton went on first. He did awesome. I didn't. He did awesome. He opened the show. Chico Bean did a beautiful performance. So I'm just saying that the world seems to agree with what you guys are doing. She said you did awesome, and she said that he was fire as well. And shout out to B. Simone, and shout out to Brandy. I don't know which one it is, but one of the Brandys.
Yeah, Brandy, you also wild at CT. Anyway, you out of control, baby girl. So that show happens. Martin says that, and to me, hearing that from him, it was like this validation. You know what I mean?
From your idol.
Don't let nobody change you. Keep doing what you're doing. If we all had your confidence like that. Crazy. So now, bam, the tour happens, right? Sunday, Chicago.
Chi-town.
Chicago was my second to last stop for this first run of cities. The last stop on the tour is Baltimore next week, day before Thanksgiving.
Got it.
Get your tickets. So, Chicago, 2 shows.
Okay, now this is from what I ascertained.
Yeah,
tour.
from what I can ascertain tour.
Okay.
Doughboy. Okay. I get there. Shout out to Corey B. Shout out to Mira Lee. Man, they were amazing. They opened up for me and just rocked out. And let me tell you about the power of a black woman, bro. Like, I get there, and of course, I don't know this city like that. Corey B. is like, yo, I'm about to run it for you. Don't worry about nothing. I'm going to keep everybody off you as far as because, comedians will come to the green room trying to get time and just ruin the show.
Try to throw their set into regular conversation.
Yeah, because I'm funny too, right? Kind of thing, which is cool. But it's like
I want to relax, get ready for my show.
Yeah, so she's keeping people away. She's also keeping time on the comedians performing.
Okay,
because I let a cat get a guest set, so she's keeping time, making sure the show runs smoothly. She's like, "Yo, you need a water or something?" I'm like, "Oh my god, thank you. This is stuff that the club should be doing."
Right.
So, and also shout out to Patty, man. She's the owner. She's amazing. She showed me so much love. Doughboy,
talk to me, man. Where was it at? What was the venue?
Riddles.
Okay.
In Alsip, Illinois. It's not, apparently it's not Chicago, but Chicago know where it is.
Okay.
So I go out there. Corey brings me to the stage. She says my name. Everybody's standing up. They're standing up. They're cheering. They're whooping. They're like, it's an out-of-body experience for me. And I haven't even gotten on stage yet. I get on stage.
This is dope. I get goosebumps hearing about this.
Bro. So I get on stage and I was like, I'm looking at everybody and it's a long applause break. And I'm like, usually when you go somewhere, like,
they sit down, right?
It's this long applause break. And I was like, y'all sit down, man, sit down. And I was like, thank y'all so much for coming out. And they're like, Team CT all day. Like, everybody's screaming.
That's really becoming a thing.
It is, man. And I'd always be like, yo, get your tickets. And you always say, get your tickets, hoping that people get their tickets. They got their tickets, bro. And they were in there showing love. I go up there. I probably do like about 40 because we had 2 shows. So I had to keep the first one tight.
Right, because they got to turn the room over.
Got to turn the room over. So we finished that show. I do the meet and greet. People are coming up. And we taking these pictures, and it's like so humbling. Oh, also, standing ovation, first show.
Come on now.
Standing ovation.
Stood them up.
I was shocked because I was like, and honestly, I was like, that last joke wasn't that fire. But they gave it to me. I'm like, I'm going to take it. So we do the meet and greet. Second show comes, right? Second show was so we did 7 and 9. Whenever I do a show on a Sunday from now on, it's probably going to be 5:30 and 7:30.
Oh, you don't like the later ones?
Well, people have to go to work the next day. Yeah. So it's like, I got to think about them. And I wasn't thinking about that when I did the show times. So second show comes. I do a completely different set because my boy Gorilla was in the audience for the first show. And we did a meet and greet. And then he was like, I'm staying for the second one.
Almost like a challenge?
Well, I guess I'm going to do different jokes.
So how much time do you have now? Because it sounds like you did like 2-3 different sets over the weekend.
Well, overall, I have I have about an hour and 20 minutes where I can be like, this is going to be an incredible show. Yeah. So it's like, so the 35, 40 that I did first show, and then 45, 50 minutes that I did on the next show, bam. And that stuff was all, I gave a lot of stories too, and I didn't even go into a lot of stories, but we had fun.
Right.
So we did a meet and greet at the end of the second show, and we all just kicking it, man. A lot of the cats from Twitch came out. My boy Drew, dope. Calvin, like everybody, man, pissed. The list goes on and on. And it was so humbling because they showed up for me. And I'm going to tell you an honesty moment. They showed me more love. First of all, Detroit was incredible with the love. Like the meet and greet in Detroit was phenomenal.
Right.
Like they came up, we took the pictures. Everybody told me how, however they had found me or their relationship to me. And that was great. But Chicago made me feel like that was my hometown.
Right, because that's your community that you're building on your own. I mean, it's different, Detroit. And I mean, no shade to it, but that's where you're from. That's where you grew up.
But that's where it should be.
Exactly, but you're from Chicago and you're getting that love.
No, I'm from Detroit.
I'm saying you're from Detroit, but you're in Chicago. But the community travels to go see you, and they're bringing home to you.
Bro.
So that's dope. So like, you know what I'm saying? That probably felt more intense than even 20, 30,000 people, just because these are people that are coming for, this is Team CT.
But here's
that's
the
fire,
cruncher.
man.
So the Chicago show, I was like, so this is the humbling part that I'm telling you. Detroit felt great and I loved it. I know there's a lot of members of Team CT, but I took you with me. And I was like, are these people here for me? Or are they here for Doughboy?
They clearly were there for you.
Listen. This is the artist. This is how artist's mind is. So I'm like, are they here for me or are they here for Doughboy? And I was like, I love my brother, but I just need to know. So when I did Chicago, this is all me. I needed to know, right? Chicago.
Whoa.
They showed me, man. It was like we packed out 2 shows. I keep saying we. I packed out 2 shows.
Yeah, man.
And it was Baltimore's next week, man. So
Baltimore,
so
you better get your tickets.
More, you know,
I'm happy for you, man. You could, you know what I'm saying? You could genuinely see the happiness oozing out of you, man, because you could tell that you love, you know what I'm saying, what you do. So it's just dope, man. I always love when I see the good people winning.
Now tell me about your week, man.
I mean, my week has just been,
because I'm on cloud 13.
Oh man, I'm on cloud 13 as well. I had another breakthrough on stand up as well. So last week I did about 40 minutes because you know, me and Brent, we got a spot that we co-host over at in the Valley, Mom's Cafe. I mean, Mom's House. I'm sorry, I always say the name right. Mom's House. It's a soul food spot, but we do stand up there on Wednesdays. So we co-hosted. So like, he's been trying to challenge me, like, because I told him, I said, look, man, I want to get good at every area of stand up. So you know what I'm saying, let's challenge each other. So he's like, all right, though, like, so like, you know, he'll try like throw me curveballs sometimes. So like, I got there thinking I'm just gonna go do a set. So as soon as I get there, he's like, nah, you hosting and you doing 20 at the beginning. I'm like, and it was a good crowd. Like, it was about 35, 40 people. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, when it's in that compact of an area, like, it was just dope. So I just kind of, I didn't have time to prepare and get in my thoughts. So I just went up there, and Alex Thomas was there and Buddy Lewis. And so it's like a couple cats was there just
the vets.
Randomly. Yeah. And then so I didn't even get too much in my head. I just was like, and I'm telling you, bro, I haven't felt like that kind of comfortable on stage since be like 09, 08, like, and like, even like,
blame
you can hear
the food though, boy. Blame it on the food.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was just like honesty, like, because you know when my set is starting to become, and like, even like the OGs pulled me to the side, like, stay, because they didn't see me from back of that, like, stay in that, like, whatever you doing there, stay in that. So that just made me feel really good. And then this weekend, man, like, this weekend was just monumental for me because everybody knows, well, I don't know if everybody knows because I don't really say it that much, but all this journey into creativity and whatever I started to do started with drums for me. Drums was always...
Wait, incredible transition. I want to give you credit as it's happening.
Right.
Yes. So before you say that, I'm scrolling YouTube in between one of these flights because I was on 2 hours of sleep the whole weekend. And I'm like, Doughboy's in church right now? And it should have been a shock because you started as a gospel rapper.
Right.
Keep going.
Right. So, growing up, like, that was always just something I wanted to do because, like, the drummer just always, like, drummers were just important for everything. You're almost like the heartbeat. Like, when you lose the drums, it's like,
service by
you know what I'm saying? So, getting into drums and like that was always a part in in my childhood where I was happy. Like that's when my family was together. That's when, you know what I'm saying, everything was cool. Like me and my dad was actually getting along. Like stuff was cool. So it was like and then even it translated to middle school. I started playing in like the little band that they had, the concert band. And then in high school I played drums. But then after high school, I was like, by then I had already started rapping. And so it was just like, I'm not going to be a drummer. It is what it is. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, always want to play, and that's like my connection with God and church, and just for whatever reason. So the last time I played is when Kiara's uncle, I was still with her mom, when Kiara was like, 1 or 2, he had started a church out in Sacramento. So I started playing drums for the church back then. But he's from out here. He's actually from the IE. And so we were talking, and we were all on a cruise, because like me and my daughter's mom are super cool. Like to this day, we're like best friends. So
beautiful woman.
Yeah. And And so, it was back in 2018. We were all on a cruise for her mom. Because me and her mom have the same birthday. So I went, So I went with them, and he was talking to me, and he was just like, "Doe, what I'm saying? Like, I really, I got this church out in Sacramento, but like, I really feel like I need to, go to LA. That's like kind of what's calling me." And like, what I'm saying? But he was just like, that nervous, because just like with comedians or anything, like, trying to start a church somewhere is a new thing too. He had a lot more security, back there. And so I remember just kind of telling him, I was just like, "Bro,
we won't do that guy stuff over here, fam." Take that mess back to the valley.
So like, I had told him straight up, I was just like, I know what it's like to be afraid. I moved out to LA at a time, by myself. And I kind of assured him, I'm like, "Bro, just make that leap of faith." I was like, "But when you get out there, I got your back. I can't wait to get on drums when you get back. Let's do it." So fast forward, he's got the church. Everything's been going good. And we were about to get the building back in 2020. But then, of course, COVID, everything. So then they finally get a building. And so I went out and I got the set. And so this Sunday was my first time playing like drums at church, literally in 14 years. And I couldn't have had a better feeling. Like I was there, and I was like getting the word from him. And like I was also weirded out. So I was like, well, maybe I shouldn't put this on my YouTube. I was like, I don't know if people want to see this. I was like, I don't care. Like, this is part of me. So like I put it up, and it was just a really good feeling. Like I got like a lot of positive feedback, because I like just stream the whole service, and it's crazy too, because I got like it's an electronic drum set. And so like now the choir before, because we didn't have a drum set and I wasn't going out there, obviously, because we didn't have a building, the guy would play piano, but he would like sequence the drum. So that's how they've been practicing. And so like, plus I haven't played. So they's like, okay, for the first couple of weeks, just play along. So I'm playing along with it, but you can still hear if I mess up. Oh. And so I can like definitely hear, like, you can see like I got a couple looks like, "Hey, nigga, get it together." I was just like, "Hey, so but no, it was just definitely an amazing feeling for me, man. I think it just did a lot for my spirit. And then into this week, and then another really, really big thing happened.
Before let me digest.
Yeah.
First, brother, had no idea you know how to play the drums.
Really? All this time?
You've never talked about it.
Wow.
You only talked about your keys, like when you would do beats and everything. You never talked about drums. So imagine my shock when I see you like, "Yeah, I'm setting up a drum set." I'm like, "For somebody?"
For whom?
What are you doing that for? I had no idea you played the drums. I was like, "Yo, this is incredible," and for you to be doing it in church, which is always dope. And it's like, congratulations to your guy for getting the church. So the church is out there in the IE.
Yeah, it's called Faith Point Ministries. And it's just there now. So he was even letting me know like once a month, like he wants me to do a comedy show out there. So I definitely got to book you out there, CT. You got to come to tell some jokes for Jesus, man. Come on, man.
It's been a long time.
But look, this is even the bigger thing, right? This is the kind, I don't want to say the story I want to tell, but just kind of a thing that I experienced happen. And I kind of want to just say this to people out there, and to you, obviously, co-host of this amazing podcast that we have together.
You want to be a woman? I made a decision.
And before I get into this story, because I know I didn't have the bars, but I did make sure I brought this new nickname alert. Dodell Beckham Jr.
Why do they call you Dodell Beckham Jr.?
Because I catch a football before I catch feelings again.
Oh, what?
That's just how I am.
Where did this come from?
I don't know, man. We'll talk about it later. But anyway, man. So back to what I was saying. It's really important to set intentions in your life.
Yes.
I feel like that's really, really important. So I've been saying this for maybe 3-4, no, really like this year. I was just like, I really want to be the best stand-up comedian. Like I've just been saying that like over and over to myself, not really out loud, but just like, I want to do this. Like this is, because like for the past, ever since I started doing comedy, I haven't really had the time and space just to really just focus solely on this. But like with where Kiara is in life, where I'm at my career, I'm like, okay, now is the time. So then I told myself, I'm like, well, what are you going to need to do that? I was like, I'm going to have to get a room. Like it's just, and I need a room where I can grow, like not just the 10, 15 minutes I can get here. Like I need a room. I need to probably get it that's going to be in a space that's not a comedy club, you know what I mean? A space with like a forward-thinking owner that can maybe see the value in stand-up comedy, and so we could do it. And maybe it could be on a space on the outskirts of LA, because I kind of get, I don't really want to, like the LA crowd could be so finicky, all these other things. That's just kind of like my mind thinking. So then boom, my church is out in Rialto. One of my homegirls that, they used to promote a show out there, her name is Michelle. You know Michelle from Left Right? Entertainment. Yes. Yeah. So, she used to do Raquel's Jazz Lounge out there. I used to host it back with her. And I was like, man, I wonder, because now that I'm playing drums, I'm going to be out there Sundays and Tuesdays. So I'm like, because for Sundays is for the church and then Tuesdays rehearsal. So I'm like, I wonder if she's still doing that Taco Tuesday. Let me just hit her. Randomly hit her while I was just out there. And she was just like, this is so weird that you're hitting me right now. She's like, I've been trying to get in touch with you for the past 3-4 months. She was like, do I have a wrong number on you? Don't know what happened, but I'm just like, no. So then we finally figured it out. So she's like, look, I got like 3 or 4 different spots. They all want content. I just don't have anybody to plug them. There's actually a guy that, has a space out here. So she's like, why don't you just come over to the club? And I was like, hey, after church, I'm going to pull up. Long story short, we end up going over to the place, meeting the guy, just amazing young dude with this club. Club is phenomenal. Long story short.
Smoked some weed with him in the car.
No, didn't do no weed in the car. Didn't do no weed in the car. Ate some fire tacos, amazing food. But it is now official. Starting December 7th, your boy has the littest Taco Tuesday in the land. Congrats. You're absolutely going to be getting booked. And I'm just so excited because I'm like, everything that I wanted is starting to happen. And it's just like, sometimes you just you can create the world that you want, because it wasn't too long ago, my mind was just so fixated on negative things. And I kept getting that. I was worried about situations and people. And it was just like, I kept being bombarded. And it was at some point I was just like, no, this is what I want. It's like, even something like me playing drums, I was like, I want to restore my relationship with God. Like, and even if it is something like that, that's subtle enough to kind of get me there. Now I'm in the building. I got to be there. The drummer can't leave. Like, you know what I'm saying? So now, sometimes like, and then it just.
Hey, Pastor, wrap it up. I got to show you this.
What I'm saying? So it's just like, and then it's just like, it's stranger than fiction of all the places I could have got my open mic. I mean, not my open mic, my Taco Tuesday is in the same place that my church is.
Yeah.
Like, it just all starts to.
If I may.
Oh, yeah.
There was no need for you to say stranger than fiction.
It was absolutely
there
a need.
Was no need.
That was a
Did
it
you
is stranger than.
The movie?
No. That's just a term. I've never even seen the movie.
You've never said Stranger
I did not know that there was a movie called Stranger Than Fiction.
Oh, you didn't know?
Did not know. But Stranger Than Fiction is just saying this is Stranger Than Fiction. That's a term I use frequently. I'm surprised I haven't used it on the podcast. Side note,
41 episodes.
Did you look in the comments last week? You absolutely said Doriega.
You know what's funny? Ladies and gentlemen.
I was waiting like, did he ready to see it? Yes. Because I know he said it.
Listen, I have no problem admitting over. I say, yo, if they see it in the comments, cool. Apparently I said it. Wasn't on purpose. Here's... Your deflection game is crazy.
It ain't.
It's like, hey, man, you didn't need to say Stranger Fiction. You said Doriega. That's what you said.
What are you, 3? That up. Your mom's 3.
Bro, I repeat it. Bro, Tangerine, man, every time she says something, that's ridiculous. And I'm like, you ridiculous. Every time. Best comeback ever. Congrats on the church.
Thank you.
Congrats on Taco Tuesday. Wow, that's amazing. So now you start looking at things a different way, and the things that
you look at will change, bro. And it's just like, I just feel great, man. I just feel like I'm operating in a good space, man.
That's good, dude.
So it definitely.
What your pastor be talking about?
Huh?
What your pastor be? What your pastor be talking about?
Yo, he's fire. He be bringing that word, man. He be talking. You know, I mean, you know, he was, you know, I hit you with the bullet points. God is good. Yeah. I was there for the drums. I mean, you gotta let me walk. Let me wade in the water before you want me to do a backstroke. let me get in there. What was he talking about? Philippians or something. I don't. He's a great preacher.
I was focused on the drum.
Oh man, it's just steps, it's levels, man. I can't just get up there and be deacon of the week. I barely got in there with the drum set. I'm still a sinner. God ain't through with me yet.
Of the week, bro. Let me tell you something. One of my favorite things is when you get caught red-handed, bro.
What?
You're the greatest getting caught red-handed guy in history. There's nobody better, bro. No villain from Scooby-Doo has anything on you, bro. Oh, he was like, yeah, man, he's fired. And then
stranger than fixing the things he says. What did he say? What do you want to get into all that for? It inexplicably got a newspaper in my head and hit you. Get out of here.
Scared you. Bro. Doughboy. Oh. This is how I know, randomly, this is how I know your dad is the problem. You're way too funny. For him to have not laughed, that's a hater, bro.
Father Man. People like Father Man and Baby Daddy Man.
Oh, my God.
I think we got to write it up, man. The streets want it. Speaking of Father Man and Baby Daddy Man, it's the baby versus the baby mama in these streets.
Yes.
And it's okay. So let's just, it's a lot to unpack here. So, okay. So first of all, the baby and Danny Lee have a child. And this, but I want to, beautiful baby. I want to give this as a, what's the word when you say something before you say a disclaimer?
Yeah.
I don't. It's never something that I ever want to come off as like judging people or just running to our podcast that we have to talk about people's downfalls or misfortunes or whatever. But you know, we react to everything. So, so you know, I like to just be able to react, you know, without it being, you know, attacking people or, you know, all those things. So with all of that being said, okay, so the first thing that happened was there was a live video of the baby and Danny Lee, and it seemed like everything was going cool. Then it wasn't. Then it was get out, da-da-da-da. Then apparently the police got called. Then it just turned into this kind of back and forth thing between them, him saying some him referring with her in his face saying, "You was never my woman, you was my side B." This is what I will say about that in particular.
That's things.
And I could take the OG approach to this from, you know, a person like the baby, because I'm pretty sure I'm at least 15 years older than the baby. No, how old is the baby? Probably 37. I don't know. But come on, bro. Like, at the end of the day, just on some father stuff, bro. Like, you have a daughter with this woman. Your daughter will see you calling her mother his side B. And even if that was the case, that should not be something that should be said. My heart breaks for that, you know, for that child. And so then now there's just like a bunch of mudslinging going back and forth over this on the net. What were your thoughts? And I know it's none of your business because that's always the first thing you lead off with. But what was your thoughts of just kind of seeing the back and forth between the two of them?
I'll tell you a couple of thoughts. The first thought was it was like they weren't fighting with kid gloves.
Not at all.
It was like at first it's kind of like a little jab. It's like, look at your hand. Well, look at you. And I was like,
exactly.
Oh, this has been brewing for a minute, right?
Right.
My separate thought from that, what you say in the comment about the side chick thing. There was a conversation that I had with Tangerine like a year ago where it was like she had done something to anger me and I just went in. And she was like, I mean, does that make you feel good to like tear me down?
Oh, wow.
And when she said that sentence, my heart broke into a million pieces because my intention wasn't to break her down. Right. My intention in that moment, I had to realize I had no good intention. It was like I was trying to create.
That was your full, like that, just some bad energy or just.
It was horrible energy.
Right.
Which I try not to have. And it was like, wow. is your intention to tear me down? And I'm like, what did I expect to get out of this type of critique? Or like, it's kind of like if you say something about somebody, you be like, yeah, man, that hat is blah, 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 blah. Like, do you expect your reaction to be, yeah, man, this hat is trash. I don't know why I bought it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it was like, I had to really check myself. And this is like a relationship thing.
Right.
It's like, and not even just romantically, but like familial, friendship, whatever. Is your intention to truly hurt somebody? And if it is, why? Like, what are you getting out of that?
Right.
It goes to even comments. Like, there will be I read a comment on a video on my Facebook, a video that's like trending again, and a guy says, I think I said the term "soldier on," like just some quick punchline,
right.
and the guy is like, "Soldier what?" And my thought was, why? Right? That's the first thing. But two, it's like a lot of times we'll comment things because we can. You can literally go to anybody's page right now and say something crazy to somebody if you want, just because you can.
And then just walk off.
It's like you're intentionally trying to pass this energy from maybe what might be an unhappy life of yours to somebody. But why? Like, is your goal to tear somebody down? If so, why? So going back to the baby and his lady, which is none of my business.
Right. None of mine.
I've always been a firm believer that if you have a child with somebody, and this goes to men and women, don't talk crazy to the person in front of this child. Right. Also, don't talk crazy about the other parent when the child is around, because it's like, I mean, when the parent isn't around, because it's like the kid don't care.
Right.
You know, I look back. Well, I'm not gonna say that, but anyway, it's like those types of things a kid should never have to deal with, because they don't know where to go with it.
Exactly.
You know, as they get older, they'll know which parent was truly there for them and not there for them, but it's not your job to tear the other one down. Absolutely.
And just, this is the even bigger thing. And I will say this, and this is not, necessarily, pointed at the baby. This is just what I will say to any man that has a child with any woman that he's not in a relationship with. This is just what I would say, because I co-parent. I have been co-parenting. I do. Got a pretty cool kid, man. Okay. Shout out to Kiara.
Heard about that.
And she's 16. And the reason, this is what I will say, because I think as men sometimes we're irresponsible. And what I mean by that is, there's always that thing in the era of, men think if that's my baby mama, I can always go and get down with my baby mama. I first of all, it's a couple things to unpack. First of all, I would never, refer to my daughter's mother as my baby mama. I just feel like it's a derogatory term, and it just sounds like baby mama. It's just something good about that, that I don't like. But more so, and I learned this like really, really early. Like once I realized that we weren't gonna make it in a relationship, I had to make a responsible decision to make sure I, as the man, shut that down. Like, we shut that down early, because I'm like, if there's any confusion with me and her mother on that type of level, the person that's gonna suffer from this is my child. And it's just like, that's what I would just say to any man out there. Now, this is just us, like, when people say man up, this is just us. This is not about, women and, what if she throw it at me? What if she entered to do it? Like, I'm not saying, like, we just having a man conversation. If you are a man, if you value the child that you have and how they're going to be brought up, the best decision that you can make for yourself is to not confuse a woman. If that's not what you want. Don't look at your child's mother as like, that's just something that I can do because what that will do is it just creates a very toxic dynamic, and nobody's happy in that. Like, I see a lot of people, they just don't get along with their child's parent, and just that a lot of that comes from somebody got their feelings hurt, and then now it's kids start getting used as chess pieces and stuff, and I hate to see that. So just
here's
men,
the thing. One,
be responsible.
You're absolutely right. And anybody who's the deflectors are but what about this?
Right,
and what about that?
Right.
It's like, I can't stand that.
Right.
However, you're absolutely right. But when to touch on the chess piece part, a lot of the kids get used as chess pieces because the relationship didn't go well, so they're using the only power that they can have. This is men against women, women against men, and it's an unfortunate cycle because these are two people that are emotionally insecure and underdeveloped.
Yes.
So it's like this shows, right? It's like like I just gave the example earlier about it's like, this is ridiculous. You're ridiculous. Like it's,
right.
it's a joke,
right.
But there are people who are truly like that, and that's never healthy for a child. I think also what's unfortunate are the people that. Did you watch You? Did you finish it?
I haven't finished it yet.
All right. So without spoiling anything, it's like there are people who try to have kids and can't, and they try to adopt. And they have to go through like this crazy amount of things to like under scrutiny.
Right.
But then there are these idiots who could just have a kid
Yes.
without anybody doing any background on them. And it's just crazy how the life works. So with that, to go all the way back full circle, it's like, man, if you can help it, be careful who you have a child with.
Absolutely.
If you can help it.
Absolutely. And then also this is something that I'm starting to see. And this can kind of lead us into our next story too. And I want to purposely leave the guy's name out of it just because this is just a negative thing. And if you want to look up his name, you can look him up. I just don't want to say his name. But okay, so I'm gonna say this part first and then we'll go into the next part of the story. I feel like the way that we live is just, it's weird now. And what I mean is technology. Now it's just like the fact that we saw that, like, you see what I'm saying? The fact that, okay, like that, we seen it go, and then you see him just talking into a camera, but you know there's 300,000 people watching. It's just like the world has changed so, and then you know people are screaming. Then he's calling, like, you know, maybe if he did lose his cool and say some things, maybe he regretted in the heat of the moment. Maybe if that happens behind closed doors, that's one thing. But now you said it, and now it can never be erased. And I feel like we just live in like this new world where technology just takes us places that I just never imagined us getting. But I do remember years ago when the internet started coming out, because I'm old enough to remember that, people was like, the internet is just going to be the end of the world. And like, when I see stuff like that, I'd be like, the internet is kind of like a dark place sometimes. And I think we're so desensitized that we don't even notice that we're kind of stuck in this loop, which takes me to the next story. So as an NFL player, I didn't mean to laugh, but he was on the Raiders.
Wait, before you say that story, the internet is so dark. I remember watching a Facebook video and a guy, and this is another country, it's like cartel type thing, he chopped this woman's head off. And I was watching this on Facebook. And at any point, I'm like, all right, this is going to stop.
This is going to stop.
This has to be like, you know, like a made up video, because it was so weird. She was just standing still, and he was like, had this machete and just kept going. And I'm like, this is not real. This can't be real. And it was real. And I'm like, how are we able to see
We're
this?
desensitized. Now, I come up from an era where the only deaths you really saw, you didn't see death. I come up from an era, and I know you're young. You probably don't even like. If you want to see somebody get killed in real life, it was this thing called Faces of Death. It was like this VHS video, and it was like of like videotapes, and like you had to like get it from like the black market. Like it's just, you had to know a person who knew a person, and then you could see like a guy getting eaten by a bear. It'd be like, oh God, like it would be weird stuff. But like, bro, I sometimes got to just stay off World Star, because you see, like, I think we're so desensitized to it. I was watching something on YouTube too. They were like they were saying that we're breeding like a generation of serial killers like we'll never or can't even imagine, because they said like the serial killers that came from back in the day, they just came off of what they were seeing. Just think of what these kids seeing, from the video games to the World Stars to the all this stuff. So it's just a scary, dark place, and things get weird. Like, you know how we always have this love-hate conversation with the comment section.
Yeah,
this brother let the comment section ruin his life. So he was a football player for the Raiders, and a fan slid in his DMs and was basically like, "You suck, man. You trash." Da 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 da. And so he starts going back and forth with the fan. And so then dude was like, "Drop your addy, I'll pull up." And so the football player drops his addy, and he was like, "Oh, you right around the corner." Da 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 da. The football player then makes videos pointing guns, like, and he's going, but it's only two, like, you know, you can make a video for the person that you're DMing with all types of guns. Pull up, like, we'll shoot you. Da, da, da. I got, like, showing 4 or 5 guns. Da da da. Comes to find out, it was a 15-year-old kid. Screen recorded everything. Released it. Now he ain't got a job. So why do we put so much stock into people, the opinions of people we don't? Now you're seeing a guy throw away his career. Like, I'm pretty sure he didn't think this was going to happen. Like, but everything that you're doing. If there's a camera on you, you know how this can go. Like, even if you don't see a camera on you, there's probably a camera on you.
Here's the thing. First of all, for him to have done this, he can't be that old of a person anyway. If he's playing professional football, he still has to be a really young
23,
guy.
I think he's 23.
So he's not that much
22,
older than
23.
the kid.
True.
Which also means that both of them are stupid. And here's the thing. I'm not going to discredit the fact that people are offended by the comment section, because we've had several episodes where we've talked about individual comments that we've had and been like, yo, people out of control.
Right.
However, I've never let it get to a point where I say, well, pull up. Because let me tell you something, man. I shot with a young lady who shall remain nameless. Well, she can have her name because I guess she's told people about this.
Okay.
I was shooting with Jenny before.
Jenny Babas?
Yeah. And Jenny moved because people came to her apartment because they recognized it from the videos.
What?
Right? So she moved because she's like, yo, I was in the crib one day and somebody knocked on the door, and, you know, I'm thinking it's like Postmates or something, and I opened it and they were like, hey, you're Jenny.
Oh,
she's like, yeah. And he's like, I've seen some of your videos. And she's like, oh, okay, thank you. Like, she played it cool, closed the door.
Oh, hell no.
Exactly. So it's like, there are some people who are weird enough to do some crazy things. So I would never, and that's another thing, like, I don't show my family on the internet. You know what I mean? And I told my sister over 10 years ago, I was like, look, I'm not showing y'all because I've now seen the bad side of being popular, and I know the good sides of being popular, but you don't get a chance to decide which is going to be which or when. And, you know, the last thing that you want is to put somebody that you love in harm's way.
Right.
Now, we're very lucky that a lot of people show love to us, but there are people who hate people.
Yeah.
And you can't run that risk. So I don't show my family online just because of, like, and by family I'm talking about like my relatives, not like somebody who's already in the public eye. Like Tanger's in the public eye, we'll take pictures, whatever. But somebody who's not, because it's like, and you can imagine how badly I want to show my your sister and my mom and cousins, but I can't.
Right. No, and I went back and forth with that too, because, you know, I have a daughter, like, you know what I'm saying? So, like,
really?
I went there. Yeah, man, pretty cool, because she's 16.
I heard about that.
And she got a boyfriend, man. She's driving.
We're going to talk about that. Keep going.
But yeah, man, she, I just lost. Oh, no, I was like, so I used to be really nervous about that, you know what I'm saying? And then, like, you know, like, the older she gets, so, like, there came a point, like, when she was younger, I didn't really trip. I'm like, oh, she look like, you know, she's fine. But then as she got older, I kind of was like, maybe I'll take her off a little bit more. And, like, now I don't put her on as much, just for, like, what you said, just because I just be paranoid. Like,
well,
you know
it's different.
I
don't want my reasoning to impact you, and I'm gonna tell you why my reasoning is different. She lives with you,
right?
So you have the opportunity to protect her, and it's a different world out here,
right?
Like, we're in a bubble, whereas where my family members are, it is the real world, and I'm not able to just get on a plane immediately and go there, and I can't house them all out here, change their lifestyle.
Right.
Like, oh my God. I could, but I would be so pissed at everybody. Paying all these bills. I ain't gonna have no time for fun.
I mean, you got this house, man. Just have everybody pull up.
You wow.
Well, it's humble house, you know. I mean, I know how you always say that.
Yeah, this is
humble
one
house.
bedroom.
If anybody's watching,
this is actually the
only
room.
Yeah, this is it.
The bed is on the other side of the camera.
But nah, man. Hopefully the dude is relatively young. I mean, he's 22, but that just sucks to
showing guns. That's what got him fired. Believe it or not, they don't care about the other stuff. The guns showing that, and I bet the kid was white.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure that he was. And then you could also tell too, just because I'm an alcoholologist, like, he looked like he was drunk. So I was like, yeah, you was sauced up, brother. With the pull up, you gonna mess around and shoot yourself. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. So yeah, but yeah. Speaking of Kiara, yeah, she's doing good. Kiara
you got some strong genes, boy.
Yeah, I started to see, like, it was crazy. Like, growing up, I used to be looking at her like, because she didn't look at me at first. I'd be like, no, because, you know, really what it was is just, as a father, like, I was just like, I want my baby to have my eyes. Like, as soon as I got out, like, give me the eye. Like, okay, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, every day I'll be waking up, like, get up. They ain't here yet. You got something you want to tell me?
Yeah, I remember when she was really small, Tangerine would be like, that ain't your baby. And I used to be like, Tangerine, you can't say. But here's the thing. I used to always, I saw her face. I saw her smile. She has your exact smile. She has your face. And of course, more of that happens as she gets older. You see more of her. Right. But that's hilarious to hear you say, like, ugh.
First 8 years, I was like, all right, player. But nah, it's really wild, man. Because it's it's really wild because like you've pretty much been like an uncle to Kiara. Like you've been around her all phases of her life, and it's just like now that she's a teenager, it's just different. It's like I don't want to say Kiara's ever been a tomboy, but it's almost like I kind of like she's a girl, but I'm like like this is my tough girl. It's like, but like now it's like I be seeing her deal with real emotions. Like she's dating, like whatever. Like she's doing real things in her life now. Like
I hate that she's a pretty girl,
cheerleader. She got a job now. Like she's getting scholarships, and so just seeing her, kind of
look at her like her and my niece. Like my niece is where she is. And she's cute, and she's getting everything. And I hate to see it. I mean, they have to grow, of course.
Right.
But it's like,
it's just tough seeing it, man.
Why can't you be hideous?
Yeah. It's just,
I would have nothing to worry about from nobody.
And it's just,
if your daughter was hideous, she wouldn't have a boyfriend.
She wouldn't?
You'd be like, yeah, one day you'll get somebody.
Get this character up.
Pretty. Now she got everything going.
It's just, it's I don't know, man. Like it really, I don't know that I want more kids.
You're gonna have another kid.
I don't know that I want
you gonna have another
more kids. It's just because I'm just like
bareback Belcher.
I'm just like I did great. Like what I'm saying. My kid is good. Yeah. Like what I'm saying. I just feel like maybe she could just be my only child. Just
would you take birth control if they had birth control for men?
That's hilarious. Yeah, I think I would.
In a heartbeat, I would.
I think I would.
Man.
So you don't want kids at all?
Brother, listen, man. I'm very happy. But also I do realize that I'm getting older. And I just see myself as the guy who gets older that, okay, you know who I am? I'm like Denzel in a movie where he's like, I'm man on fire.
Okay.
Right? Mm-hmm. So there's going to be this kid that might be, this young hotshot that I might be living in a neighborhood and I see him and I have to check him and then he starts cutting my grass and looking after me. You know what I mean? Or like I'm, old Batman and he's Batman Beyond. He discovers my comedy.
You just pass on and just leave a nigga $100 million.
Yeah. Like that's how I feel it'll be because I just don't, the closest thing I have to a son is my nephew, right? Mm-hmm. He's 23 and he could not be more different than how I was as a 23-year-old and what he wants, which is his choice, is his life. But I'm like, this is going to be the guy that hopefully steps in to take care of me, but I doubt he will. You know what I'm saying?
Now, you definitely want somebody when them last couple of years, you want somebody to make sure you're good.
I mean,
that's what I hope. I hope I raise Kiara good enough to where, 70 years down the line, I'm just like, man, let me get that extra room and just sit me on the porch. And I just
70 years, 100. You will be 102.
I'm trying to make it to about 105. That's about the plan. That feels like a good life lived.
What if you still dropping bars at 105?
I'm gonna keep dropping them bars. Absolutely, I can't let it go.
Man. Well, here's the problem. So now let's really create this scenario. You're 90. Mm-hmm. Kiara got her family. She probably got a grandkid by now. Mm-hmm. You around, you living with her. Mm-hmm. Your grandkids are disrespectful.
Oh, yeah.
They're
clearly
out of control. How are you dealing with them?
I'm going to be walking around with the broom and treat them like the cats. Scat, Scat, Jermaine.
Jermaine. Bro, but I mean, yeah, the kid thing, like, I never saw a kid be raised the way that I watched kids be raised on TV. And the way my mother raised me, I couldn't raise a kid like that. because it's illegal to put your hands on a child. That's one. And it's like, but it's like she did so well. My sister and I were talking about the other day. We have two different mothers. You know what I mean? Like we have the same mother, but we had two different mothers because we had two completely.
Oh wait! That went over my head because I just assumed as you said two different fathers.
Right.
You had two different mothers.
Yeah,
so,
that's why I slowed down because I know you hadn't listened.
I was like, wait, what?
So we have the same
mother, but two different mothers.
Yes.
Explain that. That makes no sense to me.
So my sister is 8 years older than me. Right?
Okay.
My mom had her when she was 18.
Okay.
My mom had me when she was 26. My mother was in two completely different places in life, financially, emotionally, all of these things when we were both born. Right? So, but my mom, no matter what, loves us both equally.
Equally.
I'm definitely the favorite. But she worked very hard and instilled into us so many amazing things. But she was a kid. She was 18.
Yeah.
My dad was 21 when he had me. I couldn't imagine. I'm 35. I couldn't even imagine being 26.
Wait, that's the same age my parents were when they had me.
What?
18 to 21.
That's what I'm saying. So
Wow.
it's like you got to think, man. These kids didn't even know who they really were into adulthood before they start having kids. And then my sister, and we were talking about her having my nephew when she was 19 and my niece when she was like 28 or something like that. I don't remember the year.
Right.
But so that in itself lets you further know that you're in two different places. So
I could be two different dads.
You're completely two different
I was
dads.
I had just started doing comedy when Kiara was born. I did it because I was like, no, and the rap thing ain't popping off for me. And so now, yeah, but I don't know. I just feel like, there's so many intangibles that go into raising a kid. I feel like you almost have to have two parents in the household, but sometimes that just feels impossible.
And my level of patience. I'm pretty set into who I am right now.
Yeah,
like
the kid gonna change all that.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm a very I'm honest, and I know that I would resent someone who changed my life. You know what I'm saying?
Because you like your sleep.
I like my sleep.
You about to
my freedom.
Yeah, you about to let go of sleep for about 6 months, and then you about to let go of freedom for about.
If you have a kid, I work
6 years.
extremely hard to get to a place where I can enjoy the fruits of my labor and the blessings that God has allowed me to have.
It's a good dog.
So
man.
it's like,
yeah, I think a dog would be.
A
good
dog
for you.
is even worse than a kid.
No. You
Because
get rid of
a
a dog.
kid ain't gonna poop on my floor, bro.
But a dog is, you can give it back. You can sell it.
I definitely gave a dog back. You can sell a baby.
And
It's
you gave
illegal.
a dog back.
But you can
I bet that dog was just looking at you like, this nigga, yeah.
Listen,
How
man.
long did you keep him for?
2 weeks, but it wasn't our fault.
And it was a bulldog too, right?
It was a French. Yeah, it was a Frenchie.
And they be whining, right?
He did whine, but he was so adorable. The problem was we were in the apartment, the neighbor above us. Okay, so the problem was our building said that you couldn't own any dogs.
Okay.
Right? However, the landlords died. And I was like, well, all the rules are out the window. Who's going to enforce
The
it?
rules are dead.
Come on, man. Sketchy rules. So
The rules
So
are
I
dead.
get the dog, and we have him, and we're trying to crate train him. And I love dogs. Those of you guys who don't know, all of y'all who be sending me videos to my DM, send me dog videos. I love those. I don't want to
You
see
see tossing out nudes. Look at this puppy.
puppy, bro. So I love dog videos.
That's hilarious.
So the dog was whining during the night, first night, and loud, and the neighbor above us was like, they said we weren't allowed to have any animals. I don't have any. You guys are gonna have to get rid of him. I'm like, whatever, man. Told the breeder. He took the dog back, gave my money back, which was cool.
Wait, hold on. This was your upstairs neighbor?
Yeah.
What color was this woman?
Oh, it was a man, and he was Wahite.
He was white.
Yeah. He was
Okay, I'm okay. And this happened a couple years ago.
This was 2019.
Do you know the reason why I'm asking? Did you see the thing that happened with Afion?
Oh, with the
Okay, so why do? And I'm not
Afion
okay.
Crockett.
So this is just because that just makes me seem okay. This is a person that's coming down to your house and just basically saying that nothing that really has anything to do with them, not breaking any rule, like the rules were gone, whatever, coming down and telling you what you needed to do.
That's a great point.
There was a woman that went to a show that Afion Crockett was doing. Shout out to Afion Crockett, a friend of the podcast. He was performing. She didn't like something about his material. Now, mind you, I want to make clear, it wasn't as if he was saying directly something about her like F you, like nothing. He was doing his material. She came on stage and stopped the show like she deserved it. bro, these Karens is wild, bro. I can listen. I don't like just the unmitigated gall to think that you have the authority. Like sometimes I think, I'm not gonna say all white women, because I would never blanket statement, but some of these white women that I have seen, sometimes I think that they really feel like they are above black people.
Not just black people.
Like just above like you really just stopped a show and was like, I don't appreciate what you're talking. Like, what kind of world do we live in where that's cool? What would you do if somebody came and stopped your show in the middle of your show?
First of all, brother, I always hire security. That wouldn't happen. Nobody's getting that close to me, except during the meet and greet. Right. So, but the show's already over by that point. API, brother, you need to hire you a guard. However, theoretically, let's say hypothetically,
yeah.
I was correcting myself.
I was about to say you'll be 2 for 2 in weeks with the mess ups. With the slippity blippities.
Let's say hypothetically, I'm in that scenario and a woman tries to come on stage and interrupt my show.
Right.
I'm handling it the way that Afion handled it. A little less aggressively, though, because I'm bigger than Afion. And when you're a large black man, like my mother told me, you have to choose your words very carefully because the victim crying can come immediately. He said to me, told me to shut up.
But it just seems like
weaponized it.
He weaponized it. It just seems like it's like a setup to fail.
What would you do? I'm curious.
I mean, I'm a pretty non-confrontational person. I would just be confused more than anything. I probably just I don't know. I would just feel really weird about it. I wouldn't know really how to. Because a lot of times I don't even know how to deal with hecklers. Like I definitely don't know how to deal with somebody standing on the stage. I'd be like, that's my time. Like, I just had her to bite.
That's my time.
You finish. I'll go at these wings of yours. Like I don't know. But I just felt like it was just it just felt entitled. It just reeked of entitlement when I seen it.
I would just give her the mic and walk.
What am I gonna do? Like that was just a mess. I wanted to ask you this. I know we're bouncing subjects on this, but I wanted to ask you that okay. I'm gonna ask you a question about something first, and then I'm gonna tell you why I asked the question. Right. So Martin Lawrence, right?
Yes.
You're a huge fan of his.
Man, legendary.
Okay. Let's just say that. He just started like he's a
I'm
hero.
Still starstruck by him.
He's a hero to you, right?
Yeah.
You look up to him. He's more of a hero, right?
I can barely look him in the eye. It's crazy. He's such a huge impact on my life.
Right. So let's just say, and not like, he pulls you to the side and just like on some confide in you personally stuff. Let's just say that, you start publicly seeing just a bunch of different stuff and just layers that just come off that just kind of make you just look at him in a different light. Like what if it comes off like, before he would get on stage, like comedians would put him in the lockers, like just whatever that would kind of like diminish his credibility that kept coming out. Like if you looked at him, and the reason why I'm saying this,
he will put comedians in lockers.
No, that like comedians would put him in lockers. I'm just trying to say, what would it be to diminish his credibility in your eyes? And let me tell you what's happening to me and what I'm seeing. This Will Smith thing, right? Okay. I'm a huge Will Smith fan. Like he's like my biggest hero, and like now I feel like. Because he has a book that he's promoting and it's coming out. And I get it. Like, there's different excerpts.
I'm getting audio book.
And there's different excerpts that come out, right? And it's just like, and then you start hearing about all the stuff, mainly the stuff like with Jada. He's like,
friend of the show.
Yeah. And he's just like, I was jealous. And I'm just like, I'm my hero, though. Like, I feel like my hero, I feel like Batman's taking off his mask to me. And I feel like I'm selfish but that's always like Mike Lowry to me. And I feel like, wait, what? Like Will's and this has convinced me that some women just ain't never gonna be happy.
That's
like,
so what you're saying is you're actually proving his point. Will Smith says this Will Smith character has made him so much money and has built him into the eyes of so many people as something that he's not. And he says underneath he's truly this coward kid,
a flawed individual, like we all are,
like everybody. So I think what's happened is when the character's revealed, I said this a million times in my Twitch, because people will come in and they be like, hey, blah, 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 and I'm like, hey, what's up, man? And they're like, oh, I didn't think that you cursed so much. And I was like, what? Like, I cuss like a sailor. But I think the reason that is, and I said this in the stream way before this Will thing came out, was I know people have an idea of who you think I am, or you have this idea of who anybody is.
Right.
And if they do something to throw that off, you're crushed because you see them a certain way. And that's why a lot of these preachy celebrities have fallen so hard is because they were built up on this pedestal that people put them on like they're perfect. And then you look at the guy who did the thing with his wife and all those girls. And then you look at somebody like R. Kelly, and you look at, he wasn't built up. That's a bad example.
Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby.
Right.
America's Dad. Where these people are all the way up here. And then you see that they're not these people. The thing that I saw as a solution to that was, I'm not going to be this character you think I am. I'm going to dead that immediately.
Okay.
Immediately. Because I was getting called squeaky clean and, he's this. I was like, no, I'm not.
Let's clear that up real quick.
Because I don't need no shot coming out. I'm like, I'm a great guy. I'm very respectful. But I am not this pedestaled guy like you would see these other people. So, to answer your first question about Martin, that's a different level to me because there's nothing aside for, the thing he could do? He'd have to say something crazy to my mother. Like, that could be the only thing where I'm like, You know what I mean?
And even then, you'd be like, well, mama, how did the conversation
start? What did you say? But it's like that. But for these people who are built up on these pedestals, so Will Smith, we both love him. Friend of the show.
Friend of the show. Will, come by. We'd love to hear your side.
Man. Will Smith is this, and I think he's getting tired of holding this. He's getting tired of holding that up. So that's what this book is. It's like, yo, I made my money. I've shown you who y'all wanted me to be. I'm going to show you who I am, and let's see if you still feel the same way. If you do, we're going to achieve great things together.
And I still rock with him, but I was just like, and maybe I'm part of the problem because maybe I felt, but am I part of the problem? I don't want to say he misled because I don't feel like that was ever it, but it's just like, I feel like what our scope of, like when I was coming up being I've been a huge fan of Will Smith since the 80s. So I'm talking about since Fresh Prince and Bel-Air when he was rocking with Jazzy Jeff and when he was rapping before the show. So I think we didn't have social media. We didn't have all this openness. So all you're seeing is a guy going out achieving his dreams, and just from a bird's view lens, you're just like, geez, this guy's everything. Yeah, I threw another bird's view. Yeah, bird's view. I thought you were about to say something about me saying bird's view.
I was stalling you out.
Okay.
Unlike you do me. You said Noriega, okay? I'm just letting you
So, you know what I'm saying? You see them, and you see them almost as like, these perfect people. And it's not that you expect them to be perfect, but then it's just like, when you hear him be like, man, I was jealous of Tupac, I'm just like, you're Will Smith. Like, you're Will. And he was just like, I couldn't. He was just like, he was like, I told myself, like, I'm going to do everything I can to make her happy. I'm like, she wasn't happy with Will Smith? Like,
you know why? Because you romanticized Will Smith.
Me?
Not just you, like, it's, you romanticize Will Smith. It takes Will to romanticize Will Smith. It also takes the person that he's interested in to romanticize him as Will Smith. But if he's created this character as a defense mechanism and has went to this guy who probably wasn't even threatened by him, that shows the guy that you're threatened by that he is a threat because he used it. It's kind of like, that's why you don't go to the guy of a girl that you like and say, hey man, I like her. We get married. You know what I mean? Because it's like, you just showed this. So with Will saying that, it's unfortunate. But how did Tupac respond?
Huh?
Did he say how he responded?
Well, no, he just said that he secretly harbored that. And he's coming out with everything. He's saying like he secretly hated Tupac, or he was jealous of Tupac and his relationship with Jada. Apparently he had he said he hollered at Hillary and she rejected him. I'm like, you took a L from Hillary, Will? What? Bro.
First of all, it's nasty as your cousin. Second.
Like,
what Uncle Phil. However, again, he has been romanticized.
Right.
The people didn't do that. I mean, these girls that he's interested in didn't do that. So it's the same thing where you see like women to say about celebrities, he could have had any woman he wanted. That's not the case. Sometimes apparently he can't. He couldn't get Hillary.
That's just what.
But you know who did get Hillary?
Who?
I think Don Cheadle's was somebody else. You remember the episode of Martin where the girl? This was Fight Night, Mike Tyson fight, where Cole brought a girl over, and she ended up laying in the bed with Tommy.
I remember.
That's the girl that Don Cheadle's with.
Oh, for real?
The woman. Excuse me. Yeah.
That's his lady.
Yeah, I think they have kids together.
Whatever happened to Hillary after Fresh Prince?
She went on to do Ladies Man, which is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Is that Ladies Man with the dude with the afro?
Filth. Yeah. So
Whatever
if you are
happened to
single
him?
and you want to get banged, meet me at the Nacho Cot. It's the best. But so I didn't even know that Will tried to holler at Hillary.
They said so. He's like bearing his soul. Apparently, he had a crush on Holly Berry.
Don't tell me she turned him down.
Man, I think he was married. He just never said nothing.
Got it.
So it's just like, man, Will be taking L's like a regular dude.
He's letting you know he's a real person, bro. But I've seen so many women be like, "Oh my God, Will Smith."
Listen, it's maybe just
People
how
wanna be Will Smith.
Maybe just how they're painting. Maybe how this is being painted. Because I've never met Jada. She seems hard to make happy. Jeez, I'm like, what more do you want from Will? Jeez, like it just is like, whoo. So I don't know. I mean, maybe she could be sweet as molasses. I don't know.
You ready for this?
What?
This is a gym drop.
CT, real spill.
Real spill. It's always going to seem hard to please somebody when they're not the person that's right for you.
Ooh.
No matter what they do, it will never be enough because that's not the person you want making you happy.
Dang.
So you're saying it seems like she's hard to make happy. I mean, maybe the person that she wanted to make her happy is...
Yeah, because they just, I don't know, man. And you're right. Maybe the world, romanticized them as couples goals.
Yeah,
and
they're
all
black. They were young. They
Right.
were these superstars. They were a picture perfect couple, media sold wise. And Will's like, yo, I've been carrying this for 20 something years.
Wow, you know what? They were like 23, 24 when they got married.
They were kids.
We never really, I never really even thought about that.
Because 23-year-olds look completely different now than
Right.
they did in the 90s. In the 90s, they looked older because they were older than us.
Mm-hmm.
But when you are older and you look at somebody that's 23, you're like, oh, this is a child.
Wow.
They couldn't possibly have had it together mentally or emotionally.
Wow, they've really been together for a truly long time.
And when I say that, because I know a lot of times I'll say, because I know my mama's watching,
Mm-hmm.
I know I say this a lot, but mama, you were a kid when you had, my sister, and you had just become like an age of, wow, she's grown when you had me, but now I'm 10 years older than you were when you had me, and I'm like, she was so young. So when I'm looking at everybody, I look at things from a different lens now in comparison to my own life and through what you actually discover in life. Not to say that people don't mature a lot sooner than others.
Right.
I'm just looking at age. At 18 years old, or how you said 23 and 24 they were?
Yeah, because I'm thinking that's what I'm reading. Like, he was like 23 when they got married. So they were, so give or take a couple of years. And to be in the public limelight for that many years, like they've been married for like 23 years. That's like 40 years in Hollywood. So
I got married at 27 and I still wasn't ready. So to let alone 23.
And it's like he was the number one star in the world at that time. So yeah, I mean, shout out to them for bearing their souls. But I can't lie. It's just, for me, it was Batman taking off his mask. And maybe I'm part of the problem.
You are.
That,
I love dude even more now because
I mean I do too, but I was just like,
this has been coming. If you've noticed him even getting on Instagram and taking that over and jumping out of the plane, these are things he's always wanted to do that are outside of the movie star scope that he had created for himself. He created this character that nobody knew anything about him. Ooh, he's mysterious. Ooh, right. What's his life like? What is his marriage like? What are his kids like? And now he's telling you like, yo, I'm just as much, if not more flawed than the rest of y'all. And that's what people aren't ready to see. A lot of the people who have common sense are. But the people who aren't, not saying, I'm just saying
Right.
into the whole,
Right.
but it's like the people who aren't are like, you know what I'm saying? You blew my mind with the Hillary thing. Also, who are you to not shout? I don't want to say the rest of that stuff.
No. But that's the thing. I've always been super transparent about everything. That's what I'm saying. I never really seen that from him. I've always been like an overtalker or overshare.
No. You clearly didn't know where the rest of that sentence was going.
Oh, where was you going?
I said also, who are you to turn down
Who?
Will Smith? Okay.
I missed it again.
If I'm on a show, if you're the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh, yeah. Okay. It took me 3 times. The nerve.
That's what I'm saying.
The nerve. Yeah.
The nerve. Who's hotter than me is what I'm thinking. If I'm the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
But you know, that probably had to, she might have been doing that like to check his ego. Yeah. And probably thought like, you going to work for me. And he was like, man.
Maybe. Well, all right. You don't want me? About to go take a trip to a different world real quick. I'll be back.
A Different World didn't get that many seasons.
It didn't, but it was impactful. A lot of times the show doesn't have to have a lot of seasons to just do the job while it was there. Like for me, seeing everybody on A Different World, the stars were created. When I had a huge crush on Jada Pinkett when I was a kid because of A Different World. There was a scene.
Was she a regular on that show?
Yeah. There was a scene where she had white pants on and she was going up the stairs at the close of an episode. And it delivered a punchline. Like some dude was flirting with her and then she was like, maybe. And then she walked up the stairs and I was a kid and I was like,
because I remember it was like that was like my first time really seeing a spinoff show, like you know, from the Cosby to that. But I feel like
Jason's Lyric was right after that. That wasn't her body, by the way. Found that out the hard way.
Wait, what you mean it wasn't her body when she was in the forest frolicking?
Yeah, that wasn't her. When they did the scene, you know, the scene, that wasn't her. I know.
Really?
I'm disappointed too. Just like I was disappointed that Hillary turned down Will Smith.
I just lost my complete thought. I don't even know if I can.
That's why they killed. That's why they killed. That's why they killed Trevor, because they wouldn't let you be happy with nobody. So you turned down Hillary Banks. Will you marry me? Turned down the freshest of the princess.
I can't believe that. Well, she did it. Anything else that's been on your mind, man? I feel like
we did everything today. This is good. This felt good. The shows again.
You have shows coming up this weekend?
The next show is the 24th, day before Thanksgiving.
Okay.
In Baltimore. Baltimore, I need you.
Okay.
I need you. And I'm gonna tell you why, man. So I'm in Baltimore at the Baltimore Comedy Factory, the 24th, day before Thanksgiving.
Okay.
It's the day before the holiday. Excuse me, your family's gonna be with you. Bring your family. That's another thing. When people invite you to comedy shows, bring people with you.
Bring some folks.
Don't just be like, yeah, I got my ticket. All right, you want to go with somebody? Right? However, unless you ain't got nobody, still come. But like if you know you got a group of like people will be like, is it cool if I bring 8 of my friends? I'm like, yes.
Absolutely.
That's what I want. But I had this fear of the Comedy Factory because last time I had done it was with Brandon T. Jackson in 2011. And it was great shows, but it was so massive. I was like, man, I can't wait until I get the chance to come here on my own. And now that time has come. And I had that same fear with Riddles in Chicago because that was another club that I was like, man, I want to rock this joint. And the people came out. Baltimore, get your tickets.
Up.
I want to see you. It's going to be amazing. I got Jahan Jones.
Come on.
I got
Shout out
Brandon
Jahan.
Brody. They're both DMV natives, man. They the squad. They're gonna be on. They're gonna be, it's gonna be some fun.
Oh yeah.
So get your tickets, man. We're gonna have us a good time.
Yes, and I don't have anything coming up, but my Taco Tuesday will be starting on December 7th at Celebrities Bar and Grill. December 7th.
I want to do the 5th one.
Okay, we can make that happen.
Need all the kinks worked out.
Okay, get everything rolling. Yeah. And that's all I got going. But I have been Dope Boy.
Man, I'm CT is dope. You know what? What did I want to ask you? Also, you know what? I'm gonna give you a random flower.
Oh, me?
You seemed to have been very tuned in for a few things today, and it wasn't like you were just waiting to talk, which is good.
For a few things?
A few things. A couple things you went back to Dope Boy.
Baby steps. Okay. Okay. We got crawl before we walk. Okay.
Oh, wait. The lives. How have the lives been going? I
I don't do them as much anymore. The last one was weird. I just put it on private.
Why was it weird?
I don't know. Tony was on it. It just
Was it having an argument or something?
It wasn't really an argument. It was just like, I don't know. It was just like a weird.
What is this?
I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's just, so I haven't been going live as much, but it was cool to go live. You know, I just be trying to find different things. Like I was going live a lot, and then I found kind of like that sweet spot for like that raid, you know, that Past the Bar show that I was talking about. So now I'm like packaging that up to see like what I can do, take it out to market, or, you know, make it myself. So I haven't been going live as much, and because I don't want it to get, you know, I was going live every day for 3 hours. I was just like, I'm getting tired of me.
Doughboy.
How I get sick of me? You ever told yourself to shut up? Like, shut up, Doe. Who said that? You did. All right.
Scared you. Scared me. I'm me.
It's part of that thing that I be telling you about. Like, sometimes I think about that. Like, I've literally been sitting here for 3 hours talking.
Let me ask you something.
To a screen.
That's a good point. The good thing is when you have Tony with you, because you have somebody to actually talk to and react to. But if it's just you,
I'll just be on there.
it's wild. So a couple weeks back, 4 or 5 episodes. We had a tumultuous episode.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, hey man, dope boy, bop, 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 bop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Bop,
yeah.
bop, 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 bop.
I wasn't loving it.
You were not. That's a great reference.
I was following the bop, 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 bop.
No boy, he's a comedian. Are we solid?
You and I?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's been a little different, man.
Me?
Yeah, man. We ain't been hanging out.
Oh, shut the hell. Yeah, of course we're good.
We ain't been hanging out, man.
No, man, we're good. I just been getting busy, man, like during the week, and you've been going, touring the world with the Lit AF tour.
That's recent.
No, we're always cool, bro. We're in a space in our friendship to where if it wasn't, you know, I'd say something. No, we're 100%. I'm sorry that I made you feel.
I just don't know.
No. But if I can, because from what I can ascertain, you had some assumptions.
Oh, all right.
No, what I can just say, I am sorry that you felt that way. But last 3 to 4 weeks, for me personally, and we've talked offline about some of the things, so it's just really me and just personal stuff I have going on, but nothing with you. Yeah. So I
remember.
I got some things going on, but it's nothing with you. Like me and you are like 2 peas in a pot.
2 peas in a pot.
Literally, I don't know if you've noticed ever since you stopped me with the like what other random.
Every random.
Now that's gonna be a part of the show.
Fiction.
Put random themes in here that I can just throw at him, so see if he catches them.
We need closure from last week's story. When you told the story about
Oh,
the
yeah,
car.
yes.
So what was Tony's reaction?
She was mad.
Oh, really?
And y'all didn't help.
Oh, she was mad.
Y'all didn't help because y'all was just like, you know, oh, Tony gonna be boo. Hey, anyway. I'm tired of the way you guys feel.
Hey.
Yeah, she was mad. I mean, it wasn't nothing crazy, but
What did she say?
Nothing, because I told her before, so I knew it was going to come out, so I just told her before it came out. And so, like, you know, her whole disposition was, you know, she always leads with, I'm just, you know, concerned about your safety and, you know, I don't want you making poor decisions. So, you know, I don't know if she felt like me sharing that story was, you know, the best idea, but I was like, that story was hilarious.
Was
no way I wasn't not going to tell it. You know what I'm saying? So, but nah, she was mad, but, you know, not overly.
Oh,
you know
she was mad.
So yeah, she was a little ticked off, and you know what I'm saying, I'm not even gonna look. And then I had asked her to give me the clip, and she was like, I can't watch the clip. You can't watch the clip. I got mad all over again. Like, okay. Can you get the clip ready, please? All right, go.
That, you know what? Because I don't want to leave you out on the island. I'm trying to think of something. Tangerine was like mad at that I did.
Oh, look at you just out here being the perfect husband.
I wish. She's the perfect wife. So it's like, I'll play the villain role immediately. You know, okay. Here's a good thing.
Okay.
So she has this hairstyle, this particular hairstyle that I do not care for. And she's... And I jokingly brought the hairstyle up, but this goes right back to what I said earlier, which was your intention to tear me down? And me being like, man, what was my intention, right? So I brought up the hairstyle that I didn't like, and then...
Oh, in that moment that you were mad?
No, not when I was mad.
Okay,
just
gotcha.
like, just like genuinely like joking. But it's, truth to every joke. And I said something about the hairstyle. And I think my intention was to get her to address, maybe you're right.
Like to get the little nugget of truth out of there. And just I'm going to fix it.
Right? I'm going to fix it. So she reacted the opposite way and was like, oh my God, like, why is this? Why that? I know you don't like this. I know you don't like that. And I don't want to make her self-conscious about anything. But it's like, I really don't like that hairstyle. So it's like, my question to you, I'm going to ask you a piece of advice. One, has there been a hairstyle that Tony has had that you'd be like, right? Mm-hmm. Answer that first.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you told her
that I didn't like it?
Yeah.
No.
Damn. Okay.
That's where you messed up.
That's why I messed up?
Yeah.
What was I supposed to do?
Lie. Like, this is the thing. You have to, and it's not necessarily a lie. This is what I learned about, this is how I feel like women are inherently wired at the core of them.
Okay.
Story I remember when Kiara was like 3 years old. This is that time she was going to preschool. So I would usually, get her dressed or stuff. And I was like, all right, Kiara, go ahead and get yourself dressed. Remember, the outfit couldn't have been worse. Like, she had like nothing matched. Like, she had like some purple boots, some brown tights. I was like, and so I'm thinking it's a joke. She comes in there I'm like, oh, what are you doing? You're ridiculous. When I tell you, her eyes just, and I was just like, what's wrong? She was like, you laughed at me. And I was just like, oh my God. So I learned at that moment,
wow,
whatever they like, you like. Unless it's, you know what I mean? Let other people say it, because chances are the world will tell them.
But they don't. Girls be lying to each other, bro.
That's when you pay bots and spam her.
You pay bots?
But it can never come from you. Matter of fact, if it's one that you know ain't the best, you almost got to be like, but I love it.
You're right.
The world will tell it, but don't do too much, because then she's going to be like, I'm aware, he like it. No, don't do too much. But just be like, look, I don't care what nobody's saying. I don't think it's like, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what you want to do. So I learned that if they are, because there must be something about it that she likes.
So here's the thing. I hear that. The Kiara joint was hilarious. She cried. That broke my heart. So, okay. Mm-hmm. I was in the airport going to Dallas on Friday.
Okay.
And I saw this girl with this horrible wig. Doughboy. This wig was hanging on by her wig was like that, bro. Like it was
like out of BC from Oz.
hanging on her head. And I was sitting there like, she has to. You have to.
There's no
right?
way.
It looks like when she started the process to take it out, she just stopped and was like, I gotta get to the airport. Right? She got all this.
I'm not missing this flight.
It looked like it was with bad weed. Then, also she looked, that's another thing. When your wig looks bad, ladies, you also look dusty. I don't even know why it's correlated, but it is. So I see another woman, and she walks up, and she got the I just woke up energy, right? Like she ain't.
I don't want to take away from your story by doing this.
Just hold it with your left hand. We almost out here.
All right, give me 1 second. All right.
You know what I mean? So we're in this airport, and girl A with the horrible weave, looking like she's thrown away, as my mom would say. And then the other girl, she's thrown away, bro. Like, just throw her away. Then this other girl comes up, and she has like I just rolled out of bed. I didn't take a shower before I got here.
Don't talk directly in my face. You're going to smell like.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. She got that wig on, right? So I'm looking at two girls, one with a horrible fitted cap on, and another one with bad weave, right? Wouldn't you know it, they knew each other. They saw each other, hugged impactfully.
So they bonded over bad hairdos.
No, they knew each other. They knew each other and were friends. And I was like, birds of a bad wig feather flock together. Bad wig feather. So they hug, and I'm watching them hug, and I said to myself, neither of them are going to tell the other one. Because they're just letting this happen, right? And I start thinking to myself, women don't tell other women the truth about their appearance.
Side note, that was a double entendre because the bird and the feather, because you call the woman a bird.
So it's like they don't tell each other. They hype each other up with these things and they're like, yes, queen, and
yes.
all that. But it doesn't look good. You know what I mean?
Right.
Men will see a guy that is a friend of his and he'll be like, hey, man, get some bigger pants. He'll be like, oh, you right. You know what I mean? Hey, man, what you doing with your shirt?
Right. We ain't going to never steer you wrong.
Never.
Exactly.
But women will literally let each other do. I saw, you see like the makeup stuff, and I'll see women say, oh, who did her makeup? But won't tell the girl. So the girl keep wearing that makeup like that.
That'd be that petty hating.
It is, man.
Go out there and look a mess. I would just say this. Say, hey, I love them all. These are my 3 favorite.
But here's the problem. So, and this is what she knows. She knows that I had her in one hairstyle for years. I had her in the bangs for years. And then one day she just surprised me with the middle part. And I was like, ooh, I like the middle part, right? The middle part became my new favorite hairstyle. I didn't want to see the bangs. So Tangerine knows that when she hits me with these surprise hairstyles, something might catch on.
Right.
So she got to try different things. However,
She hit you with one.
she hit me with one that she know I don't rock with, and she keep doing it. And I'm like, is she being funny? You know what I'm saying? Right. But I will support my lady.
Just support it.
And I will never try and intentionally tear her down.
Yeah, man. Because, we got to, all about the black queens, man.
Yeah, man. Black women, bro. Oh, that's why I said shout out to Corey B, Mira Lee.
Yes.
These black women held me down, and I needed y'all, and I appreciate you, and I thank you. Baltimore, you're next. CT is dope.
I am Doughboy. See y'all next time.